Okay, just going to show you what I've been working on with the game over the last few days. So I've been trying to work out what kind of game, or rather what kind of platform I want the game to be on, and I'd like it to work on mobile and tablets and things like that. You know, I'm not going to lie, it's a bit of a. I'm sort of aiming for a bit more of a casual market with this, but then again, I'm developing it more casually than the other games that I was working on. They were supposed to be really big games, grand in scope, whereas this is supposed to be a bit more simple. So anyway, I'm thinking about designing the game around being able to release it on a number of platforms, from PC to tablet and to mobile. So I'm trying to think of more simple control systems which don't take away from the gameplay but get rid of a lot of unnecessary controls. So one thing I've been working on is deploying the tools. There are a few bugs with the physics that I still need to work out yet. So what I've been working on is a system where when you land on the surface and you're looking for an area to drill, so let's just find somewhere to land. Also, I'm not quite sure how the physics of the landings are going to work yet. Okay, so just ignore that hole in the side of the model for now. So you can only use the drill when you've landed, and as you can see, there's a little particle effect that comes out of it when it's drilling. And in the top left corner of the screen, you can also see that it uses battery now. So whenever it's drilling, it's using battery. I mean for it to use battery actually once it starts, once the drill's actually been deployed to. I've turned around, so everything's a bit messed up. Oh, there it goes. No, we've got it. We've lost it. Oh, it's gone. That's fine. Yeah. So anyway, I'll just let that sort of roll around for a bit. Okay, as I was saying. Where was I? Oh yeah, so I was talking about so basically I'm trying to work on a context-based system of actions rather than being able to manually choose which tool you want to use, because there's no point letting the player be able to use the drill when they're flying around. You know, what are they going to use that for? I'd rather detect when they're on the floor and when the ship has landed properly. So then if you're playing on a tablet, you don't, because if you're on a tablet, you don't want to have loads of buttons to press because you'll end up pressing them by accident. I'm thinking either a virtual joystick or sort of tilt controls on the tablet. Of course, on the PC you'll be able to use the keys and buttons on the keyboard to your heart's content. But yeah, for the sake of the tablet and the mobile versions, basically what I'm thinking is when you land, there'll be a button that says drill, or it might have a drill icon on it, and you press that button and it'll start drilling. I'm not sure what the other actions are going to be yet. That's the main one. There's also going to be a button for a menu that I haven't quite finished yet, and basically what that's going to do is bring up a menu, and it's going to show you all a bunch of information and stuff. Like when you landed at a base or a facility, it might tell you information about that facility. I think to sort of reduce the amount of information on this on the GUI, I'd like to maybe have a little sign hovering above a building, which tells you the amount of resources that it has. And try and have it in as user-friendly way as possible. Try and not take up too much space. Where it says ship supplies in the top left, for example, I want that to actually just be 3 bars rather than numerical values, especially numerical values that are that precise. It's giving you the floats to 4 and 5 decimal places there, which is information that's not really needed. As you can see in the top right hand corner of the screen, I've just basically put together a little widget for cargo items. So now I'm thinking you will buy upgrades at some point, but you'll start with 8 cargo slots, and when you mine, basically when you're drilling, you'll automatically fill those cargo slots. And if you, I'm envisioning some kind of storage facility that you'd be able to build at some point, but that'll be in a much later release. And you would be able to use that storage facility to store sort of various things that you've drilled or collected for moving along the map later. So the cargo system just sort of gets automatically populated. I was going to have a system where you transported items one by one, but I felt like that would be a bit cumbersome, and it might restrict the game in future. So having more than one carryable item, but not too many items, I think is the way I'm going to go with this. It seems much less of a hassle. Because one thing I'm thinking about is that I play Terraria, and one problem I have with it is that your inventory can get really difficult to manage really quickly, where you have loads and loads of items and you don't know what to do. I'd rather keep this game simple. One thing I've been thinking about today is the different resources that you'll have. Like you'll have salvage. I might have mentioned a few of these before. You'll have salvage, which you can, which I'm thinking you'll be able to turn into use for electronics. If you mine iron or some other metal ore, you'll be able to turn that into metal, which you use to build things. You'll be able to mine crude oil. I say crude oil; it's probably more. You probably wouldn't use crude oil to fire to power a rocket thruster, but some sort of fuel resource, and then you'll turn that fuel resource into rocket fuel. Maybe some precious metals, but I don't particularly want a sort of money system. I like to think that you're by yourself on this planet, and you're kind of stuck. You don't really have anybody to talk to. And even if cash did exist, what would you use it for? So yeah, I think cash sort of makes the game not really sort of. I don't know. I don't like the idea of you being able to buy stuff. I prefer you to be able to gather resources and build stuff that way. So yeah, that's what I've been working on for the last few days. I hope you've enjoyed this update, and hope you're looking forward to playing version 1, which I intend to have soon. Okay, well, thanks very much for watching. Bye bye.